Chat, what we've got here pulled up in front of us are the Karlov Manor Commander cards. All right, we got 40 brand new cards, not including our commanders or our lieutenant commanders that we've already gone through in previous videos or streams. But we got 40 brand new to Magic the Gathering cards, and we want to go through them right here, right now with you.
I'm going to do my best to not bring up Academy Manufacturer. Okay.
We will
promise you.
Try and decide if these are any good and if they run well with Academy Manufacturer.
Let's just shout out Academy Manufacturer at the top of this. Academy Manufacturer is known for being really good with excuse me, Kloof, food, and treasure tokens.
Kloof, and all the moves.
That's right, and all the moves. So Academy Manufacturer is going to be very good with Investigate. If it's a set that has clue tokens, Academy Manufacturer is good. Let's just say that.
Armed with Proof gets the Fire Art Award for me. 1 white, 2 other enchantment. When it ETBs, investigate twice. So you get 2 clues, 2 foods, 2 treasures if you've got Academy Manufacturer out. And
that would be so good with Academy Manufacturer.
And clues you control. We can't do that for every freaking card.
I'm not going to do it.
Clues
I'm done.
You control are equipment in addition to their other types. And have equipped creature gets +2/+0 and equipped 2. Obviously, pretty solid in a clue deck. I wish that there was something more for the +2/+0. This balances against the ridiculousness that it would be if this was equip 1. I mean, can you imagine equipping 4 clue tokens to somebody and they can throw their books or throw their bloody daggers that they found on the ground at you? But
kind of cool.
+2/+0 and
Proof.
Yeah. This is underwhelming for me, I think, but I would be terrified if it was any more powerful. You know what I'm saying? I think solid, obviously. It seems narrow.
Pretty good. Like being able to, because you can still sack the clue, right? Like if I equip it to a creature.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like swing and then sack your clues later.
Right. Use them as power buffs. Immortal Obligations and instant speed. 1 white, 1 other. Return target creature from an opponent's graveyard to the battlefield under their control with a duty counter on it.
Yeah, he's a duty. Look at you. Wow.
For as long as that creature has a counter on it.
Getting your dad jokes going.
For as long as that creature has a counter on it, it is goated and can attack you or a permanent you control and can block creatures you control. This is interesting. EOT. Return Jake's huge thing to his battlefield. It's goated and can't attack. And I really like the can't block creatures you control clause too. That's what puts this over the edge. This is a very political card. This is the kind of instant that I would want to run in any political deck. Because that's the one I want to read. That's the one I want to build.
I do think it's a great political card. Yeah. It's pretty sweet.
And it's goad. This has got to be the Nelly Borka deck. Yeah, I'm definitely getting that precon. That
so one just for as long as it has the duty counter on it, it's goaded, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Can't attack you or a permanent you control.
I freaking love it.
Can't block creatures you control. This is sweet.
Imagine if it has like a big ETB, right?
Yeah.
And then you can use it politically to be like, hey, when that enters, destroy this, you know?
Yeah. I'll give you that back, but you got to destroy that. Or it's like, if anybody could return my Lauren of the Third Path to the battlefield, I could deal with it. But until then, and then you're like,
cool. It's like it's a group hug kind of thing, but it's interesting. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, investigate. Clues you control have exalted. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, that creature... Oh my god.
Holy shit.
I love that.
You're going to have to bleep that out if you edit this stream cut. But yeah, this one is worthy of a holy... This is... Every single clue just gets exalted?
Yeah, that's dope as shit.
Holy shit.
Deck.
Bro, and it doesn't even have the "this only happens once per turn" clause on the first part. All of your non-token creatures turn into clues.
Yeah, I'm a fan of this.
Wow, with a 5 butt. Yeah, dude. Brutal.
Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, investigate. It's pretty sick, dude.
This is a good creature generically. Obviously, yeah, for
I think
clue
so
decks.
as well.
But just turning your creature deaths into clue tokens, maybe not generically good. Artifact decks for sure. God, clues you control have exalted. That's so interesting.
I mean, would you want this? Is this a bad question to ask? Is this going to be good in some sort of like aristocrats kind of build where you're going to be sacking a lot of stuff? Like,
it depends on how you're building it. Aristocrats is always token creatures. The best ones are token creatures, and so you're going to be missing value off that. But I mean, the more I think about this, the more I want it in a dedicated clue deck, just because this could be a win con. If you've got some kind of flying vigilant creature, drop this 4 clues on the battlefield. That thing gets +4/+4.
I always would like to run something like this alongside a Cauldron Familiar type interaction where it's like, if I'm continuously sacking something and can get it back, the value that's going to come from that is just immense.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
It makes me want to, because I know that oh no, these aren't going to be on Arena because they're only in the Commander decks.
Yeah, so unfortunately these don't make it onto Arena.
Otherworldly Escort. 1 white, 3 other for a 4/3 flash.
I flamed this card in my review of this deck in this video.
When Otherworldly Escort dies, if it's not a spirit, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with 4 charge counters on it. The Spirit Detective. And then for 1 white and 1 other, you could tap it, remove a charge counter from Otherworldly Escort, and destroy target creature that dealt damage to you this turn. So, I mean, it's fine.
This card is not fine. This card is awful. This card is terrible. First off, it has to die.
Yeah.
Secondly, you're only going to get to do this thing 4 times. Thirdly, the creature has to have dealt damage to you. No mercy, just kills it.
It's kind of like an assassin, right? It's like a royal assassin in white in a weird way, but it has to die. It does have flash, so you can like flash it in easily to kill it. But I do see what you're saying.
That's my favorite analysis of creatures is, dude, you can flash this in and it dies so fast.
No, but listen, you flash it in as a blocker. It does have 4 power that you can throw at something to kill something. Then you get it back as a spirit immediately, ready to use this weird kind of ability. It's kind of like a no mercy in a way that you can use 4 times.
Wow.
I think it's fine. I'm not going to say it's completely shit, but I do think it's just fine.
This one I love. 3 mana, 1 white, 2 other enchant creature. Enchanted creature has indestructible and is goaded. And then if you just need to get rid of it, so that by the time...
Thank God they put that exile on it,
exactly, man. Well, you've got to have some way out of this, because basically you're just like, I'm going to, in particular, make that thing absolutely eat my other 2 opponents. And then as soon as they're out of the game, I'll just pay 2 more. You're exiled down the line. And now it's not a threat anymore.
Yeah.
I love it. I love this kind of card, man. It's like
this is fun.
It's like it's
another card that's kind of weird and political.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that Nelly deck, man, I'm telling you, the more I dug into that deck, I did not understand it at first. But the more I dug into it, the more I was like, bro, I got to play this. It looks so fun.
Serene Sleuth.
ETBs to investigate, little bear action here. ETB, investigate, beginning a combat on your turn, investigate for each goated creature you control. Then each creature you control is no longer goated.
Oh.
Little anti-goad tech. They have been printing a lot of goad cards.
Can you believe that this is where a bear has gone? Unbelievable.
This one is also kind of meh to me. This feels like it's a weird design space, Commander, because you want balance for your powerful mechanics, right? I mean, sideboards of perpetual, that's always been a part of MTG, except for Commander. But because you don't have a sideboarding Commander, I mean, what are you going to do? Be like, oh, there's a ton of goat in my meta? And just run this on the off chance that in one of your 100 draws you pull, in one of your 99 draws you pull this?
It just shows how bad a player I am that I'm fine with like a bear that comes in and investigates.
I mean, if you need creature I mean, if you need artifact
I would
tokens,
probably just run Thraben Inspector, to be honest, right? Like, why would I not run that?
If you've got a deck where you're justifiably running Thraben Inspector, you should probably consider this, because that means that you need those artifact tokens so badly that you're willing to pay 1 to get a creature body and 1 of those clue tokens. Whether it's because you want artifacts, or whether it's because you want clues, or whatever the hell, or just tokens.
Buzz Fuzz, I may not play it, but I definitely think about it.
Trouble in Pairs.
Well, we know about this card. It's freaking amazing.
Probably one of the best cards that we got from this. You can see the price counter reflects that right now. If an opponent would begin an extra turn, that player skips that turn instead. Cool. That's just extra text. That's actually good. But whenever an opponent attacks you with 2 or more creatures, draws their second card each turn, or casts their second spell each turn, you draw a card. This one and this one you can pretty much count on.
It's stupid.
This one you can pretty much count on happening for every opponent, every turn around the table. This probably, what would you say, Jake? Like 1 out of 3 when it's going around the table.
That's gonna happen.
2/3 of the time.
That shit's gonna happen
as your opponents are taking their turns.
The thing at the bottom will definitely happen all the time.
Oh my god.
The draw their second card each turn, that shit's going to be happening all over the place as well.
Yeah. I have to imagine that this card is...
And attacks you with 2 or more creatures. I mean, like, dude, this card is stupid. It has just insane upside.
Trouble in Pairs and Smothering Tithe.
You could get milled by it. It's not a May. I think this could cause you to get milled. If you don't play this card correctly, I think this can very feasibly mill you out in a game.
Buzz had a good idea. Buzz, this is a really good one. This could be our promotional card that we hand out. Trouble in Pairs. It's just me and you.
Buzz. That might happen.
We'll call it Fighting Like Crows. True Identity.
True Identity. Whenever True Identity or another permanent you control is turn phase.
Moving on. Unexplained Absence.
God. For each player, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent that player controls. For each permanent exiled this way, controller cloaks the top card of their library. To cloak a card, put it on.
It's fine. We don't care about the rest of that.
It's okay.
We like the first line here. For each player, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent that player controls. And that's just gone. This is an instant. This is not
true.
This is not a Journey to Nowhere. This is not an Oblivion Ring. It's just an instant speed. Instant speed. Exile up to 1 target non-land permanent that player controls. And then the rest of it, we've seen the other shit.
Player.
We've seen this other shit before. This
it's like Manifest. This is essentially like a Manifest kind of thing.
We've seen
where it's
Manifest
like a reality shift.
Exactly.
It's like we're gonna play Reality Shift. Obviously,
dude, we're playing Reality Shift. We don't care if it gets manifested. Yeah, this card
is sick.
This card
is really
dope,
good,
dude. This is a really good white instant with
3-for-1 instant speed.
Dope art too. Rocky Chin. This is their only work. Rocky Chan, I hope you get more work.
I love the art on this. It's like the vibe is just like, but you have to do it for yourself. For each player. That's why there's 4 subjects in the art. So it's like
up to.
Exile up to 1.
I choose 0. Go. I choose 0 for me.
If somebody gave you something you don't like, that's another good application of this card. Are you on the final step of some sort of enchantment that's about to kill you at the end?
Yeah, that seems niche. I could see though, niche. Like you're targeting my thing, it's gonna get removed anyway. Okay, in response, I'm gonna Unexplained Absence. I'm gonna ace your thing, your thing, your thing. This thing's already dead, so I'm just gonna ace it. If I don't mind it being exiled forever. Hashtag complain about farewell. And then you get a cloak on top. I mean, at least it has ward too. This is cool. I like this. Captivated audience tech. Now we're talking, baby. We have fully gone down. Oh, it's captive, isn't it? Yeah. We have gone down the full rabbit hole. If somebody in your meta is constantly getting you with captive audience, you can run Unexplained Absence and just flick them off after that. Hard, both fingers. Veiled Ascension. 1 white, 3 other. Sticky little enchantment here. Enters the battlefield, put a flying counter on each face-down creature you control. Case of the Shifting Visage. 2 blue, 1 other. At the beginning of your upkeep, surveil 1. Oh, wow, that's good. I like that.
Yeah, that is good.
Solve it when there's 15 or more cards in your graveyard. And whenever you cast a non-legendary spell, copy that spell? Wait,
yeah,
hang on.
Good.
I'm looking for downside. Give me a second. I'm looking for downside. Hang on. I'm looking for downside.
It's a little high costed for Surveil 1 at the beginning of your upkeep, I think. But
by 1 mana?
Right. It's gonna be very strong. I mean, you can cast it as early as turn 1 in some extremely sweaty situations.
By 1 mana, it's expensive, and all you got to do is pull 15 off.
Right. Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah,
honestly.
G Mendes has a good point. I can barely read this title for so many letters, but I mean, that's easy. And this is insane. It's creatures.
It's true.
You're copying creatures.
It's true. A buddy of ours would love this card.
Holy mercy. Holy mercy. Copy catchers. 2 mana flying, 2/2. When you surveil, pay 2. If you do, create a token that's a copy of it. This is pretty sweet. Paying
Does
2
the
mana.
Copy get that ability?
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah,
right?
It's a straight up copy of it. But then you got to pay 4. You know, they don't like help each other get cheaper as it doesn't grow out of control like Scoot Swarm, Scoot Mop, whatever the second one was.
Yeah, and because this is like a training grounds wouldn't work with us, right? Because this is an additional cost you have to pay. You can't mitigate that cost.
Well, it's an activated.
Yeah,
it's an activated ability or a triggered ability. It's not activated.
It's just fine. It's cute.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? Scoot Swarm? Yeah. Like this one gets exponential at a certain point.
I hate that card so freaking much.
And this one doesn't grow exponentially.
Yeah.
The same way.
Yeah.
Unless I'm missing something. Ascend.
Detective of the Month.
As long as you have the City's Blessing.
2/3.
Makes detectives unblockable if you've got the City's Blessing.
Yeah.
And drawing your second card gets you a 2/2. I mean, yeah, this card is dope.
Yeah.
What's the seer that's in every blue deck spellcaster? Create a 1/1 bird. What's that thing called? It's in every precon. Chat, help me out here. 4 mana. 1 blue, 3 other. Yeah, it's got Ascend on here because this is Murmuring Mystic. Thank you very much, Hayden.
That's what it is, yeah.
This, I mean, look, y'all. People play this. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery, create a 1/1 with flying. Whenever you draw your second card, create a 2/2. You're gonna have to cast mana. Pay mana.
Yeah, you need to be drawing a lot of cards in order to make sure that you get the most out of this.
Easy.
All right, a 1/4 flash flying. During each opponent's end step, you may cast spells as though they had flash.
I mean, this seems really dope, actually. 80 book.
1/4 for 3. During each opponent's end step. Wow.
Flash is so powerful, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. Like, I'm trying to find the drawback on it. It's just it's very, very.
You are
very
relegated to the end
card.
step, but that's typically like if you're running this, what are you casting as though it had flash? Like enchantments, right? You want to cast. You don't want to cast instants and shit. You want to cast,
of course.
Enchantments,
you want to build your board,
creatures, right?
I see this as like I'm playing this because I have a counter spell in hand.
Exactly.
But if I'm not using that counter spell, I'm gonna build my board before my upkeep.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
yeah, Hayden,
dude,
see, talking about a blue-white deck, it's always the end step because Jake's exactly right. You're running the instance already. You know, you've got Swan Song in your hand, and so you're good on answers. But your permanence now, instead of having flash so that you can like get screwy in combat steps and block at instant speed with something that just entered, you can cast those permanents at EOT. This is cool. I think this card is going to have wider application. This isn't just like a Spirits deck card. You know what I'm saying?
Just one more thing. I like that flavor text on it.
That's an interesting one.
then we have Follow the Bodies. Another 3 costs here. 1 blue, 2 other for Gravestorm. When you cast a spell, copy it for each permanent put into a graveyard from the battlefield this turn. You investigate. Wow.
What the shit? Is that real?
Yeah, so this is like,
bro,
Joel, you were saying you like for people to do something after a board wipe, right?
Yeah, here you go.
Is Follow the Bodies a good application?
This is fine with me, because at that point, bro, this is like, oh, well, next turn they're gonna rise and shine, and we are all FUCK'd in the USA. Bro, this card is sick, and I want this card without reminder text. You know how sick this card would look? Gravestorm, investigate. Just those 2 words. Sexy.
Yeah, this is pretty
tokens
sweet.
Count. Yes. Tokens are permanents that go to the graveyard.
Copy it for each
then they
permanent.
Evaporate.
No, I don't think they are permanents.
I think they are. Let's do a little. Let's do a little
what was the thing that I was getting? Oh, wait, because we just asked a question that was similar to this. No, their tokens are absolutely permanents, but it was something like. Oh, they do count.
They exist in the graveyard for a brief moment and then cease to exist.
What was I thinking of?
Wow!
We have a question. Wait a minute, Joel. There was something that because we had a question about. Oh, it was when we did the Ixalan thing. Never mind. I can't remember it. It doesn't matter, and I don't want to stall up the stream.
Follow the Body seems really cool.
Yeah.
Ah! It already exists. The Extendo has Gravestorm.
The keyword.
And says investigate.
It might have been that.
Oh, yeah, because Descend does not count for
That's
like
what it was.
tokens and stuff.
That's right. That is what it was. T-Wolf.
Yeah.
Let's go. Descend. Yes, baby. Yes.
Tangle Trove Kelp. Jake's college nickname.
God, I freaking love chat sometimes. Chat has me fucking...
When do you not?
Jacked.
When do you not like
great.
chat?
This was not my name in college.
7 mana 6/6 Clue Plant.
Yeah.
With a ward of 2 at the beginning of each combat.
All right.
Other clues you what? At the beginning of each combat, that's yours and theirs. Other clues you control become 6/6 plant creatures, in addition to their other types.
No, they don't. All right, so obviously this is in the same deck as the card that we just looked at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a pretty mean clue deck popping around, huh?
I'm honestly a little bit intrigued on the clue deck. I'm kind of like into it, and I've been itching for a deck to put Academy Manufactor in.
You could go get you a definitely not a Merfolk Fish Detective, bro. I'll play Nelly Borka.
Oh, Morska.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
6/6 clues. Well, all of them having like exalted doesn't matter.
Way to go. It's like, what if we animate the clues?
Yeah, I don't. It's weird. Man.
Honestly, I'm fine with it. Yeah.
Watcher of Hours, 6 mana, 6/6 flying, ward 3. And look, I was talking about ward the other day. Y'all need to analyze ward better. People are under analyzing ward. And I'll admit, we've been guilty of it. I've downplayed ward before. But think about what this does. A 2 mana removal spell turns into a 5 mana removal spell. That rate is ridiculously bad.
Path to Exile now costs 4.
4 mana to cast. You're not going to stop them from pathing your Watcher of Hours with a ward of 3. But you're going to make them go off mana rate so hard. They're going to have to make a hard decision. Am I putting 4 mana toward removing this Watcher today? Or am I just going to let it roll and they'll get whatever the Watcher of Hours thing, and I'll save my path?
Do you care enough about playing this, though?
I don't care about this card. Whenever you remove a time counter from it,
I do either.
It surveils, and you can suspend it for 2.
Fine.
I mean, honestly, I think I care about this card more than I let on. Because this is intriguing for, like, Myrona. If it wasn't themed Phyrexian Invasion and like specifically held to that standard and just kind of a done deck at this point, this is the kind of card, if I was optimizing it, so to speak, this is the kind of card I would want. because it's at least going to be 6 surveils, which 6 surveils in a graveyard deck, not super easy to achieve and very valuable to your overall play. But
and then you just get a 6/6 beater or like a 6/6 blocker, right?
That's why this probably ends up getting cut, because
even
at the end of the
day,
it's just like, yeah, I mean, you got a 6/6 Sphinx. It doesn't even have trample.
It's got like, it's a very muscly Sphinx.
Oh yeah, the best ones are.
Yeah. Let's talk about
Laney. Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Pay 2 to surveil 6. Works for Muldrotha. Booyah.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
Here, I love when we get to a card that you have to do and it's got a weird word on it. Enjoy. Have a good day.
Caramel Serenade.
Caramel
Chanel.
Caramel Serenade.
Chanel Caramel Serenade.
Chanel.
2 black, 4 other for Sorcery.
Serenade by Chanel.
Then return. Okay, so we're going to surveil 3 at sorcery speed for 6. Okay. Then we're going to return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Exile this card with 3 time counters on it.
Oh.
And it has to spend 3.
Interesting. You'll probably get to cast this twice, maybe 3 times if you suspend it early.
Can do it early. Rebound. I like it in graveyard shenanigans, obviously.
Yeah. Rebounded spells are pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Even if this is a slow rebound here, you don't really want to be hard casting this for 6 in a perfect world. You want to toss your 3 extra mana on some random turn to suspend it and then work toward it. The thing that kind of is off-putting about this, speaking as a frequent graveyard player, is that people can see it coming. And I really prefer turns where I can like drop Jin-Gitaxias, reanimate Jin-Gitaxias, move along, not have some crazy threat sit there multiple times. So you just got to kind of time this up well, which sucks. But all things being equal,
if you hard cast, the fact that you can just get something big back and then it's going to sit there, and this card is counting down again.
Right.
Yeah.
If your graveyard's getting left alone, this could be pretty dope. If it's a long, this is very battle cruisery.
This is like once you've cast it, unless I'm reading this wrong, it's just going to come back over and over again, correct?
Right. That's exactly right.
Yeah. Okay.
Serenade by Chanel.
Yeah. We've already reviewed this card. What is this doing here?
We looked at this early on in the reveals. I think this was like 2 weeks ago. But yeah, 7 mana, 3/8 flying lifelinker. You can play lands and cast spells from among cards you've surveilled. You pay life equal to the mana value rather than cost. I mean, solid in a surveil deck. Niche, but good. We also reviewed Foreboding Steamboat already. We love this. It ETBs. Each player chooses 2 non-token, non-vehicles, exiles them under the Steamboat, and when it attacks, you put a card exiled with it into its owner's graveyard, and if you do, investigate. Got a little crew of 2.
Crew of 2 on a 5/7, very strong. Because all this thing has to do is attack. So attack somebody that doesn't have enough power to kill your 7-butt, and you're going to be exiling those creatures that would be temporary. You're going to make that a permanent thing. Well, you're going to put it into their owner's graveyard. But still, yeah, I like the card. It's something that kind of reminds me a little bit of like a barter and blood in a way.
Unshakable Tail. That's how people refer to my ass. 3 mana zombie detective 3/2 enters the battlefield, and at the beginning of your upkeep, surveil 1. I love that. Whenever 1 or more creature cards are put into the graveyard from your library, investigate. Love that. Pay 2, sack a clue, return my ass from your graveyard to your hand.
Imagine being like so into your job that even death can't get you to stop doing it.
Seriously,
this
have you
guy
seen
was like,
this man?
I'm a detective, and then I'm not even death will stop me. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
This one has a lot of not a lot. This one has application outside of the obvious niche that it is built for. I really think some of these cards are going to find homes. I think
I think clues are very good. I know that people think they're dirtily and it takes time to activate them, sure. But when you really think about it, it's so much velocity stapled onto clues. One of my favorite decks ever was a blue-green clue deck that I built during Shadows over Innistrad. And that limited deck was absolutely insane. It had like a couple graph moles and like all the things that you needed to really like make clues work. And when you have clues really rolling, I mean, it's a very strong, I guess, archetype, I guess you could call it. A lot of clue support here.
Yeah, and I think people are sleeping on the fact that Betrayer of Flesh, who was included in the Karlov Manor Commander, makes your first clue free. Each turn, homies. Each turn means my turn, Jake's turn. Opponent 3 and opponent 4 turn. That's a really good note. Sack a free clue. It came in the pre-con.
Please, no one buy that card. I want to get it for cheap.
It came in the pre-con.
Stop it. Stop telling people. I want to get it for cheap.
With the clue. Bolt Bender.
Bolt Bender.
Look, we're gonna do this one real fast. It's a morph creature. You pay it. You pay 3. It's a 2/2 with ward 2. Flip it up for a red another. When it's turn face up, you can choose new targets for any number of spells and abilities. Good. It's a good ability.
Okay.
If it's the only creature in your deck that goes face down, face up, you're gonna have a bad time. But strong creature.
It's like a bolt bend. What did they call it again?
Bolt Bender.
Oh, okay. Got it. Havoc Eater.
Check this one out. You do it.
All right, so this is the creature that's at the Havoc Festival that brought the big appetite. 2 red, 5 other for a 3/3 flying elemental. When Havoc Eater enters the battlefield, for each opponent, goad up to 1 target creature that opponent controls. Put X/1/1 counters on Havoc Eater, where X is the total power of creatures goaded this way.
No haste.
What
no
the
trample.
absolute shit?
This card is awful.
Oh my god. It's very powerful.
Here's some other things that you can do in MTG with your red mana for 7 or more. You know, get in there, everybody. If you think that Etali Primal Conqueror at 5 and 2 red is a good spell to play
Rory's
over
not wrong.
Havoc Eater at 5 and 2 red, woof. I don't like this card at all.
Okay, so even if they kill it, those creatures are still goated.
I think that I devalue this card because my partner in crime here is like, I don't run creatures. I like enchantments and mana rocks. And so whenever you play goad each opponent, whatever, against this guy, it's just like I'm waiting for him to play his Karavek. He's only got the 1 deck.
Okay. Well, yes. And I still think it's good, even if you're playing with me. I still think it's probably a good card. You just don't like the rate.
I don't like the rate. Maybe if it had haste, then at least we could get a sexy 6/6 flyer out of it. Better even if it had trample or like, I don't know, first strike or something.
It's just like too casual. Flames. It just dies to everything. Not even ward 1.
I don't care about dies to removal, but like, if I'm dropping 7 mana, it needs a little something else.
Well, clearly it's a top end card for when we're getting to like mid to late game.
Wait, hang on. That says where X is the total power of creatures goaded.
That's what I'm saying.
Hang on.
That's what I'm saying. Are you reevaluating it?
I thought that this could max out as a 6/6 in a perfect world. Hang on.
No, bro.
Hang on.
It can max out like a fucking 25.
Hang on.
It can max out at like 100.
I don't
think billion.
I think that is likely.
Probably not a billion.
I think it still needs haste.
Haste is good.
I don't think I can get
have anger, have fervor, or something like that.
You obviously can get haste easily before 7 mana, but
yeah, put it in like a big green deck, dude.
Where is this thing's eyes? Do you see any eyes on this thing?
Big gruel beats. No, it's got a sword in its head. Obviously, its eyes have been chopped out of its brain.
So this is like this is the smile here.
It's its smile. He's smiling.
And this guy's like, I don't have any eyes. Look at this. Look, I like how this person's reaction is like, I have places to be. They don't care at all that there's an enormous raging fire elemental in the sky. They're just like, oh God, it's bright. Chill.
So honestly, it is bright and it's probably hot.
Havoc Eater. Hot Pursuit we've looked at. This is a good card for your goad deck so that you've got things to do at the end. A red and another enchantment. ETBs suspect a creature an opponent controls. That makes it menace and it can't block. And as long as Hot Pursuit remains on the battlefield, that creature's also goaded, which means it has to attack and cannot attack you. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if 2 or more players have lost the game, meaning your goad deck sucks now, basically, because your goaded stuff, your opponent's goaded stuff can attack you if you're the only legal target to attack, the way it's worded. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if 2 or more players have lost the game, gain control of all goaded or suspected creatures until end of turn. Untap them, they gain haste. So this is supposed to be like the final hit in a goad deck. So niche. Bro, it's so niche.
Yeah.
It might goad. I mean, it's going to goad one thing and make
like
that
a sleeper.
Unable to block things and menace.
Sure.
I just don't think it's where we want to be. I don't love it. Unless you're in a goad deck, in which case you gotta get that card.
Then we have Mob Verdict. 2 red, 2 other sorcery, Secret Council. Each player secretly votes for another player. Then those votes are revealed. For each vote an opponent received, Mob Verdict deals 2 damage to that player and each creature that player controls. For each vote you received, draw a card. Pass.
Shock? Come on, bro. Make it 4. Make it a
Each player
choice.
secretly votes for another player. No, I'm not into this.
God, I mean, you would need 2 of your opponents. Basically, you would need to convince 2 of your opponents to vote for the same person as you. And then it deals 6 to them and 6 to each creature they control for 4 mana.
Yeah. So I'm gonna cast Mob Verdict. Who's gonna vote for you?
You're not. Yeah, I know they vote in secret, but T-Wolf, come on. If you think I'm not influencing that vote before it happens,
yeah, one person
I'm gonna try.
could eat 6. That's fine.
But
I don't want to deal like
no. This is not a good card.
I mean, it is like, okay, so everybody could gang up. It's a political card. You could deal 6 to somebody and 6 to all their creatures.
But bro, even in your perfect world, like, look at a political card still through the spectrum of what is the best case scenario here, and what are the odds of that actually happening consistently?
Yeah, best case scenario is I'm gonna play Mob Verdict. My 2 goes to 1 person, and then the worst case scenario is everybody chooses me.
You can vote for yourself.
6.
I mean, you can pay. Okay, so look, you can pay 4, vote for yourself, draw a card.
Sure.
Convince 2 other people to deal 4
and you have to deal 2 to yourself and each creature you control, right?
No, it's for each vote an opponent received. Mob Verdict deals 2 damage to that player and each player that controls. So like you will never take damage
for yourself if you wanted to draw a card. I see.
Oh, you can, yeah, like Natty Boom, thank you very much. Each player secretly votes for another player. You're literally never going to draw a card off of this. Because why would anyone choose to have you draw a card? You know what? This could be good in a Sulfum deck. Who said that? I saw that. Benny Boy 64.
It could be good in Sulfum.
If you got some kind of card that's doubling, tripling, quadrupling, adding on damage, then maybe.
This could be very powerful. Yeah.
This card is not. Now this card I love. Yeah, right. For a damage increasing deck, Buzz. That's what we're saying. Prisoner's Dilemma. Each opponent secretly chooses Silence or Snitch. Then the choices are revealed. If each opponent chose Silence, Prisoner's Dilemma deals 4 damage to each of them. If each opponent chose Snitch, Prisoner's Dilemma deals 8 damage to each of them. Otherwise, Prisoner's Dilemma deals 12 damage to each opponent who chose silence.
And it has flashback. Let's go, dude. I'm totally into this.
I love this.
This you put this in Sulfim? Oh my goodness gracious.
This is the most fun.
Yeah.
This is the most fun, man.
I love that flashback on there too. And I love the art. The art on this is really neat too. I like those colors.
Okay, so you've got person 1, person 2, person 3, person 4.
Those are 4 rectangular parallelograms. Yes.
All right. So we're going to say, let's swap here. If each opponent chose silence, Prisoner Dilemma deals 4 damage to each of them. So if everybody if each opponent chose snitch. Okay, so it only ever deals damage
only
to each opponent.
It's only 3 players because it's each opponent.
Right. If they all choose to be quiet, they take 4 damage. If they all choose to snitch to try and get 12 damage across on somebody, they all take 8. But so that's the whole game, right? That's the risk. Is if you choose silence and D Hammer chooses silence and Buzz Fuzz chooses snitch. You and D Hammer both take 12. Buzz takes nothing. And Prisoner's Dilemma is resolved. But if everybody tries to get 12 damage across on anybody, everybody takes 8 just straight up. I love this card.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh yeah, Rory, this is absolutely a game within a game. I thought I was going to need to illustrate that for us, but we figured it out without a drawing. Go us. We're smart.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that card. It's
I love this card. It's that, dude, I'm telling you, I think that's why I'm drawn to the Nelly deck, because there are so many political cards in here. And that is, I just love to play Commander politically.
That's kind of like where you're
that's how
gravitating.
I play. That's how I play, bro. Forces a round of apples to apples. So yeah, then we'll really start a fight.
Next up, we have Show-Stopping Surprise. And for 5 mana, 2 red and 3 other, we get an instant. Choose target creature you control. Turn it face up. If it's face down, fucking awful.
You want to read this one?
I hate reading that. I hated reading that. 1 red, 3 other for Teska, Judith's Hellhound. Legendary creature, Elemental Hound. We get a 3/3 that has Unleash. Wow, what a throwback. Bringing back some Unleash.
Love Unleash.
You may have this creature enter the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it. It can't block as long as it has a 1/1 counter on it.
Aggro,
Other
baby.
dogs you control have Unleash. Creatures you control with counters on them have Haste. Whenever Teska Judith's Hellhound attacks, add red for each attacking creature. Yeah, this is pretty wild.
Unleash says blocking is for pussies. We don't.
Roy says, I want a card that forces a round of apples to apples. Oh my goodness. Shahrazad.
This is a planted dog for the dog deck that was just sold in Secret Lair, I'm convinced. This card's sweet in your dog deck.
It's sweet for dogs, yeah.
Potentially a modified creatures deck.
Yeah, maybe.
What was the name of that commander?
It's niche.
Shishiro.
It's super niche. Yeah.
At the beginning of your instep, put a +1/+1 counter on each modified creature you control.
What deck is this in?
T-Sac? Oh, bro. I took it out. Typically, I don't cut cards. Which one was this? I think this... Oh, yeah. It was the flip one. It was the face down, face up deck,
yeah,
right?
It's good for Rin and Siri, but I just don't...
Right, exactly. It's so weird, man. This was the weirdest card in the precons. I'd said in my video, typically I do not cut brand new cards from the precons because they're brand new cards. We want to play with them. I haven't never tested them. I can't really make a judgment call on them. But I looked at the card. I looked at the deck. I looked at the card. I looked at the deck. I was like, guys, this one doesn't have a spot. I don't even know why this is in here. Other than...
On the attack. For the attack, I guess. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's an attacking deck. I don't know. Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
Laney
that's
is
cool.
saying even the cats and dogs deck doesn't want dogs. Doesn't it make dogs though? I'm pretty sure it makes dogs.
Yeah, I like that idea, Natty. That's really interesting. Rhythm of the Wild comes in, and you can either choose to put a counter on something. No. Yeah. It can either get haste or get a +1/+1 counter.
Yeah.
And with this one, if they have a counter, they get haste. I really like that. Experiment 12. 1 green, 3 other 4/4 trampler. When it or another creature you control is turned face up, put +1/+1 counters on it. Good for the face. All the face up cards that we're skipping, y'all, they don't have any application literally anywhere else except for the face up, face down deck. If you're playing a face up, face down deck, run cards that say face up, face down on them. You're going to have a good time. Otherwise, like we said, there are edge cases where cards like this will have a component that has to do with face down, face up, but this is not a face down, face up card in and of itself.
It can be played, pretty much anywhere. Like
a card like Show Stopping Surprise. Turn it face up. If it's face down, deals damage to its power each. That's great. I mean, I guess this is
it isn't, though.
Well,
it's
this
so
is
booty cheddar, dude.
This is Chandra's Outrage. This is just a no. What is it called? What is the Chandra board wipe called?
Chandra's Ignition.
Thank you.
Straight out the kitchen.
Chandra's Ignition and send on string down to the kitchen. Yeah, look. Except it takes off the opponent clause. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature and each opponent. I mean, look, deals damage equal to its power to each other creature. They take off the opponent line. They make it it's instant speed. Chandra's Ignition is sorcery.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I mean,
I can see the similarities, but I like the Ignition so much better.
Yeah, obviously.
Each opponent is just so good, right?
It's obviously better than we're giving it credit for. It's just like it's not really going to have a lot of application outside of the deck that it's built for.
Yeah. Innocuous Researcher, 1 green, 3 other for a 3/4 with Parley.
Parlay.
Or is that Parlay? Parlay. Whenever Innocuous Researcher attacks, each other creature reveals the top card of their library. For each non-land card revealed this way, you investigate, then each player draws a card. At the beginning of your end step, you may untap all lands you control. If you do, you can't cast spells this turn. I didn't know that Parlay became a new, like, where do they come up with these abilities? Are there just like millions of abilities?
Oh no,
it's like brand new, right?
No, we got Parlay.
Imagine learning to read just for the channel and having to read that flip face-up card. So sorry, Jake. I appreciate you, Retro. Yeah.
Bro,
it is old.
Parlay's been around. We got 9 cards in the history of the game with Parlay on there.
Yeah.
I mean,
so they brought back a deep cut here. I was wrong.
In your defense, Jake, what is that?
That's Barley.
Oh, right, exactly.
Obviously.
Exactly. And what is this keyword? Parley.
That's Parley.
And
which is kind of like parsley.
And
that's Barley.
And this cereal, a member of the grass family with edible grains, this is Barley.
Barley.
And this is Parley.
Yeah, that's right. Which is kind of like parsley.
So it's whenever it attacks.
Yeah.
The beginning of combat on each turn. Each player reveals the top card of his library. Okay, so Parlay is just like, oh, reveal the top card of your library. That's the okay. I was looking for the like consistency here. I was very confused. It has to do with revealing the top card of your library. It's like Clash. Whenever it attacks, each player clashes, or each player reveals the top. You investigate, then they draw those. Beginning of your end step, untap all lands. If you do, you can't cast spells until your next turn. Why would you want to untap your lands but not be able to cast spells? Activate abilities, I guess? Oh, yeah. Duh. Because this has got to be the morph deck, right? Because you would still be able to morph your creatures or disguise your creatures.
I would say it's the morph deck if it's got a centaur detective on it. That thing has obviously been morphed.
Whenever you draw your second card each turn, you can put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. That seems sweet.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh, it's clues. This is the clue deck. Got it. Oh, well, duh, you investigate. I'm a moron. It's getting late over here, chat. You investigate. Yep, clue deck. It would also work well in the flip deck because you'd have mana to activate your flip things. Yep. On the Trail seems good.
It seems pretty good.
Draw your second
there's
card.
The pre-order price being around $4. Yep. It kind of checks out.
Right. Pretty good.
Oh, and Seedborn is in the deck? Okay, cool.
I don't know.
Print Lifter Ooze,
I
one
love
green,
this
one
art
other.
so much. I don't know why I love this art. So cute.
This is a pretty strong bear too.
Oh yeah.
Death Touch. Whenever it or another creature you control is turned face up, create a 0/0 green Ooze creature token with trample. Ooze enters the battlefield with X/1/1 counters on it, where X is the number of other creatures you control. And it has Disguise for 1 green and 3 other.
Yeah, good and morph. Again, it's just so weird to analyze these cards in other decks, because I'm like, okay, if you got a lot of creature tokens on the battlefield, you could play this face down, and it does get the ward too, but still people are just going to be like, all right, that's the Print Lifter Ooze. If they play with you at any speed.
That's the issue with morph. If you put it in something that isn't a all morph deck,
yeah,
you're gonna telegraph the card. Yeah.
Counter target spell. You may cast a creature, instant, sorcery, or planeswalker spell from your graveyard with mana value less than or equal to that spell's mana value without paying its mana cost.
Oh, we talked about this card. This card is fine.
Yeah, this card is fine. 5 mana is still
a fine rate.
Fairly restrictive.
Yep.
Holding up 5. You know, it's good that you get this back, but you're not able to control it. It's tough. You know, you have to hold open 5. You got to have something in your graveyard you want to cast, and then you got to wait for a counter spell to counter that's the right. Yeah, dude, it's like,
it's a little too much.
I'm telling you, man, it's like this card. It's like this card. You got to jump through 6 stupid hoops, and then it runs out of, and then it can run out of charges.
Yeah.
Yeah. So stupid to me. Knowledge is power. Jake,
Love the art on this.
This was your senior photo, right?
You have really weird memory for the past.
They were like, quick, make it not Capenna. Here's an Azorius Owl. Creatures you control get +X/+X, where X is the number of cards you've drawn this turn. I think this card is pretty sweet. I think that this could be I mean, wow. And it just
why does it not say until end of turn?
I mean, it's number of cards you've drawn this turn. It basically does.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I like that it scales across your turn. Like, you know, everything gets +1/+1 after your first draw. You've already got that, right? And then every other card you got that you're drawing past that.
It's pretty sweet, dude.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty sweet little casual enchantment. 5 mana is rough, but
5 mana is a little bit much, but it's still kind of cool. Take the Bait. Is that how that's pronounced? Or is that Bayat?
I think it's Take the Bayat.
Take the Bayat. 1 white, 1 red, and 2 other for an instant. Cast this spell only during an opponent's turn and only during combat. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to you and planeswalkers you control this turn. Untap all attacking creatures and goad them. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Big old goad spell here.
It's like no, it's not that. What is it? Oh, Palm. It's like one of my favorite cards of all time, but made for Commander.
Yeah, bro. This card is good. This card is a sideboard card for like modern decks.
I love this card. It looks like it's actually in the deck, which makes sense.
Oh, and Pioneer. Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, it's like a better version of that.
Mm-hmm.
For Commander. I love that.
Cast only during an opponent's turn. Yeah.
I mean, bro, this is okay. All right. I swing out at Jake. Jake, you got 51 ones coming at you. What you do? All right, you took the bait, bro.
I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, exactly. Play take, prevent all the damage, untap it. Now they've all gotta attack, and they can't attack me. Who you killing?
No, I'm just gonna take the 50.
You're just gonna take 50. Got it. Yeah. Joel wins again. That damn Joel.
That god darn Joel again.
The next face down creature spell this is a good card for your face down creature decks. And then you got Ransom Note. I cut this card out of every pre-con upgrade just because it does a little bit of all of the things, but it only does it one time. And I just, maybe in the artifact deck, you know, the deck
for
that cares about clues. Yep.
So it surveils for 1 on the ETB.
Right. So you got a little piece of every single deck in there. It's like
I don't hate it.
It's like a clue cute. That does a little more. I just cut it because it's low stakes. But yeah, I mean, it's arguably decent for the clue deck because it is a clue, and so it counts for anything.
What does Cloak do again? Sorry.
Cloak is manifest. Cloak is manifest, but with ward 2 tacked on.
Got it. I hate it. Got it. And then goad target creature or draw a card. So for me, for 3 mana, I'm surveilling and I'm drawing a card. It's okay.
Or like goading a thing.
Matt says I've used the goad on it.
Yeah, one-time goad. So those are the brand new, unique to the Commander Precons, Karlov Manor cards, and what we think of their power level and applicability outside of the decks that they come in. Let us know if you're watching this after the fact, what you think in the comments, and come hang out with us live next time, every Wednesday night. Let's do it.
That's right.